जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम 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 जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। 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 चरुम पीछे पापा से राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, जय बहुत लोग हैं, मुझे लोग जय राम, जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम 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 जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम
जय राम ओम श्री राम जय 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 राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 श्री राम जय राम जय श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम ओम 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Yeah. What is to be shared today?
Nanu, tell me somebody, world is a drama where he is a director, actor, everybody. Can you explain one more?
Sri Krishna
One
Leela.
more song you get.
Director, actor, producer.
The whole world is a drama.
Do you think, contemplating upon those words, it will help us in our sadhana?
Yes. Yes, yes, definitely.
It will help us in our sadhana. Eh?
Swamiji.
Ah.
Yes, they're saying yes, it helps.
It will help us in sadhana only if we have raised ourselves to some level. Otherwise, it will be only hearing, you know. So, first of all, what we have to do is, we should know something is there beyond this body, mind, intellect complex. Are we getting studied in that? Then only we will be able to know that it is a Leela. Otherwise, somebody says we are repeating it. Because to us, everything is what our mind has colored. We label it as positive, negative. We don't recognize the finger of God. Then the labeling will not be there, you know. Accepting every situation as ordained by Him. So we are all struggling to raise ourselves from our present level to a little higher level. Then slowly things will be, yes, I am not the deciding factor. Though he gives me the feeling that I am the deciding factor, he is there within me. So our sadhana should enable us to get ourselves convinced about it. In the book Sri Krishna Leela, Vanamali has brought out beautifully in the last page. We read, so what? No, need not. Because he says the director and the hero and the villain, the director and the producer, eh?
Judge and the judge.
No, that is there. He says, in a form. He is the director, producer, actor, hero, villain, and then he is the audience. He is the stage on which this play is going on. It is a too tall order for all of us. Nice to hear. We know that it is there. And the next one is, he says, the beggar, the king, the murderer, the victim, the judge, in all that he plays, okay. But with that background, suppose we go out of this session, when we deal with men and matters, are we in a position to keep it up? Not that we don't want to keep it up, we know it is the reality, but sufficient preparation are necessary for us to get stabilized in it. So this satsang helps us to idealize, and then we try to move on.
I am not alone. You are with me. That word.
That is something, practical. Whenever it is possible, we try to do that. We will be behaving like an individual, doesn't matter. But nothing will affect us deeply if we keep on reminding ourselves that I am not alone, you are with me. And trying to remember as many times as possible, whenever we are free from many activities, what all he has given to us, he has been giving to us. That will lead us to know that he is running the whole show. We always used to share our experience when we were in the high school. That Malayalam poem you may not be able to understand well, but we will try. So God gives us a technique, through examples. Otherwise, it becomes a tall order, it stays at the academic level. We may be able to reproduce it, but what happens to me? In one of the poems taught to us, the meaning is seated within, each and every step you are watching, Agame nilagund adadu chuvadugal aam arudunnu thirichu. You are watching and saying that this is yes, this is no. Certain things I hear, certain things I don't hear. But the moment I come to know that you are behind, Agame nilagund adadu chuvadugal aam arudunnu thirichu, adiyanu kaatti theruvona vidunnu annir dharikkade. Without somebody knowing, you are making me aware of, you are giving me all these instructions, you are guiding me. Nobody else will know. But the moment which fact I don't know now, I am not aware. I think I am thinking, I am planning, I am doing. Whereas it is he who is within. When you say about Leela, this is what stuck to us. So then this was taught to us. We knew that it was a wonderful poem. And that was in 58, 59, we had this, youth festival. For the first time it was introduced in Kerala. And then we were only 16 boys and 3 girls in our SSLC batch. And I was the youngest, not even completed 14. So I had to take a medical certificate for writing the exam. So everybody, the Pundit, Malayalam Pundit, and some of the teachers allotted each one with some cultural activities. I was not given anything. So naturally I felt very bad. So he called me. What happened to you? You feel you have not been given anything? And we said, yes. You are going to get the most important role. Oh, then we were very happy. Then he said, you are going to have Ekanga Natakam. There will be only one scene. It will be a lengthy scene, that's all. And 3-4 actors. And he said, what am I supposed to do? So Pandit said, I will give you the script. You will have to go through it, learn it by heart. Then I will give you 2-3 people, 3-4 people who will be the actors. You have to teach them. Repeat, make them to repeat, make them to repeat. Wherever the modulation has to go up, you have to inform them. And then what should be the body language, whether they should move forward, sideways, all those things you have to work out. And finally, when the day comes, after rehearsal, when the day comes, you will not be seen by the audience. Only the actors will be seen, but you will be guiding them from behind the curtain. It gave me a lot of joy, and then took the script, learned it by heart after 10 days. To a very great extent, we were able to learn it by heart. Then 3-4 students, co-students were allotted to us, and then we all sat together, and they were also given copies. They wrote. That is how, not like cyclo-styling or something. They, each one's part they have to write, so that by writing they get it stamped in their heart. And then the rehearsal started. Many a time we failed, but somehow we were able to get in. And finally the Pundit, he was also witnessing the rehearsal. Finally he said, yes, you can now go ahead. So then the day for the performance was selected. So many programs were there. On those days, because it was a village area, lot of people will come for such programs. Petromax and everything will be there. And when our turn came, he announced that this is the program. So all our, whenever the actor has to come from within, we used to prompt them to go there. And we will be having the script in our hand. We will slowly read nobody else will hear, but they will hear, and we will be watching them from side. Suppose they are looking there and saying, go a little forward, stretch your hand, look left side, look right, like that. No, you have to be alert. You give them instructions, and finally, when they get stuck with, they would have forgotten the dialogue. So we have to immediately say, this is what, Then somehow they pick up, and it was a good success. There was a big applause. Pandit took us to the stage and then said that this small boy had directed it. We were also very happy. But later on we understood why God gave us that privilege, to know the meaning of this particular. Seated within, you are guiding, telling him what is right, what is wrong, but you have forgotten. The moment you become aware of it, you will be able to excel in your performance. Why we mention, instead of reading a tall talk, a philosophy, if we try to understand it through an example, then it becomes very clear to us. So God is behind me. He has given me a body, mind, intellect. He prompts me to talk, to think, to act. Then only the play comes, Then only I can say the play is going on. He is the director, he is the original script writer, He is the guide, and then he is prompting, he has given me an equipment, he is prompting me from within. I have forgotten that he is prompting me and I assume the ownership. But when the spiritual preceptor, when I come in contact with the spiritual preceptor, when he says, you are not what you assume yourself to be, and you are given this direction by him every moment of your life, he is with you, then slowly we try to understand with this example. So similarly, let us all try to get as many examples as possible. God is providing us, before he gives us this theory, he provides us or he subjects us to go through certain experience by which we try to understand. Otherwise, we hear what the spiritual preceptor or guru says, we have reverence, we have respect, and then we say, okay, but not 1% we will be able to implement in our life. This is the blunt truth. When we started this in quest of God, what struck to us was, in 2 years, he could scale the heights. We are still doing it for the past so many decades. Still, we don't feel we are progressing. In 2 years' time, 1920 to 22, that was the most trying period in Papa's life. In that 2 years period, he knew that behind every thought, every deed, it is he and he alone who is in the form of life force, who is in the form of intelligence, who is in the form of awareness, who is in the form of creativity, who is in the form of compassion, who is in the form of love. He is motivating us, directing us, giving us this. It is high time. The question you raised is very pertinent. We have been hearing about this play, Leela of the Lord. How are we to understand? So we try to parade before our mind. God has provided us ample opportunities. At that time, we have not connected it up. We took it as a normal vyavaharik dealing. But now, as a spiritual aspirant or a bhakta trying to understand the wisdom teachings of our masters, now we try to parade our own experience or what we have observed in others. This is very, 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 very important. If it is text-oriented, it will not take us beyond certain level. The more we think about it, it becomes clear to us. For the whole year you are studying, the teacher studies with the text. And at the examination hall, none of the texts are allowed to be taken. No teacher will help you. And then questions you are not known. Question paper itself is opened at the hall, so that nobody knows anything. So question papers are given to you. You have to bring out your own answers. I will be able to answer the question provided I have done lot of homework. The moment I read the text, the moment I hear from the teacher, I try to assimilate and absorb and put it in my own way, not in the words of the text as expressed in the text or the teacher. We have forgotten this in spiritual studies. We are looking up to somebody. That is why Papa has been hammering. Go within, go within, go within. And then we ask how to go within. Acha, I have provided you with enough examples all these years, but you have not connected it up. Every incident that has happened in your life has got a purpose because it was I who connected it. Oh. Your so-called labeled success and failures, so-called labeled positive and...
Hari Om,
One question. Here, the homework that you are saying, what would be the homework? Is it manana?
Manana. Suppose when we hear something now, some text, even Sri Krishna Leela, that Leela of the Lord, when we hear that, we just hear, very nice to hear. No. How can it be a Leela now? I see it is not a Leela, it is real. I cannot treat it as real. Leela. So then the question comes, how am I to do it? Every text, every Shastra says, yes, I am. Yesterday we said, Sarvasya Chaham. Sarvasya Chaham, Hridi Sannivishto, Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. In 15th chapter, he clearly mentions, Sarvasya Chaham. I am in everybody. So when we hear this word, how am I to understand? So this going, probing deep into, that is what is homework. You can learn by heart the same sloka, reproduce it anywhere. No. The purpose of God making me to come across with this particular sloka is with a purpose. So Smriti, Jnanam, Apohanam, it's all given by him. I have not brought anything in this word. When I came from my mother's womb, I did not bring. So he gave me this Smriti, remembrance power, remembrance and knowledge and forgetfulness. So then I look back. When I read Lord Krishna's words, I look back and try to understand it through my own life. This is the technique used by Papa. He was not guided anything from outside. Anything he reads and goes inside and then connects it up with his own life. Later on, the same technique he employed in Quest of God. He placed before us so many anecdotes, examples. Through examples, he is giving us the profound ideas. So when we go through that example, previously we were treating it as an example. And very nice, that's all we will say. We have to walk only 6, very nice. Every negative can be turned as positive. Look at our own life. Where this has happened in my life. Then it becomes mine. Otherwise it is Papa's version. Na? So homework means trying to connect up with our own life.
So that means, Swamiji, you have to have constant remembrance of whatever we are learning through Satsang. We have to keep on going through Manit all the time.
Manana is necessary now. If Manana is not there, it becomes lip level, superficial. It becomes, academic. We don't derive the real benefit.
Secondly, Swamiji, you said test comes unaware.
Test comes unawares.
Test come unawares,
Yeah, so we should be aware that the test is there before me.
That's what.
That much perception I must have.
No, you are right. In examination, we know it is a test coming. But here he will not even give that it is an examination. And then we have to know that, correct.
Swamiji, instead of rising to the stimulus, I should know that it is a test and keep quiet instead of rising to the stimulus.
That is why he is providing all these satsang and these books. And the word, he exactly used the same word. Test comes unawares. So every moment we have to be alert.
Which means every moment I should think of him.
That is the ultimate aim. That is the ultimate aim. I may fail, I may forget, but at least I must keep it in my mind, During the, 16 hours of waking time. Suppose we are 8 hours, suppose we are in the bedroom, whether sleeping or not. But 16 hours when we are active in our waking state. Whenever he makes us to handle anything. Even if we forget about 15 hours, at least in 1 hour, suppose we intensely think about all these things. That is why the liberation.
Swamiji, as a trial, I can say from this time to this time, I'm going to be very alert and think that.
Try. These are all practical suggestions. Very good. You need not inform anybody. It should be that the timing should be kept for yourself. And then you will watch 5 to 6. How is he going to test me? You remember Swami Padmanabhanji Maharaj, at the time of launching this, he told, what is his name? God, Martin. You remember that. Martin's story. Beautiful. He was asking for, Martin was requesting God to reveal. And he was alert. And so many things happened. He was still expecting God to come. Next day he asked God, why? Then he said, I came to you in 3 forms and you served me well. It is, don't worry whether at that particular time he was able to remember God or not. That is a later one. But at least he was able to understand through God that those 3 people were also his form. That is the learning. That is the learning not only to Martin, for all of us. When Swamiji shared that, why we still remember even after 9 months or 10 months, it is so striking.
Story. New people may not be knowing the story. She wants you to repeat.
I must also remember the particularities, Martin is a very, very sober person, passive person. So he prayed to God. I have been trying to lead. I think he was getting old also. So before I leave, I must have your darshan. I must see you. So God said, tomorrow I'll come. So next day he cleaned the house, prepared everything, he was ready to receive him. So after some time, one old man came. I think we must have it before Martin. We have put it in the vision.
Shraddha will have.
Martin the cobbler.
January.
Martin the cobbler. You have it with you? January, February, March.
January.
1 minute, please hold on.
Martin the cobbler,
January, Swamiji.
January, okay. You have it with you?
Right now, no, I can take it out.
I will also try. You also try. It is worth repeating it, no doubt. January, yeah? Sure. (2022) January. Not in January. It should be in February. With January, immediately after that, how will we be able to compile?
It's in February.
February, it should be in February. centenary. H.S. Swami Padmanabhan Ji's Ashirvachan, Swadhyay, Sadhana, Shravana Manana Nididhyasan, effective coup, Swadhyay, Renunciation. One prayer, prerequisite, two types of sannyas. Spiritual practice should not be done.
It came from
Eh?
Martin the cobbler.
Ah.
True service.
Eh?
True service. After seeing God everywhere, true service.
Seeing God everywhere.
After that, true service.
Next one. True service.
In
Okay.
that Martin.
Service becomes service only when you can hear, na? Everybody can hear.
Padmama. Something
Mama
is.
went to bring the book.
No, others can hear, na?
Nobody is hearing Swamiji. Huh?
What happened?
I think we have got disconnected.
No.
No, it is not disconnected.
1 second, we'll go back to them. Where are you? They are not there, Swamiji.
Yeah. Disconnected.
Yeah, we will go back.
With this you save it. Otherwise, again you have to search.
Swamiji, this is. It is here.
Right. Then now you.
Shall I close this?
Ah.
When it is coming to close. Yes, now we have to go to the file.
Where did I keep it?
It is here also, Swamiji.
Okay.
Little bigger, like this.
True service.
Okay. So everybody.
Poem. They are there. They are
You.
there.
This is some file as well.
Service becomes service only when we feel the presence of Bhagavan in all forms. Puja Swamiji explained this through an inspiring story called Martin the Cobbler.
1 second. Are you able to hear Swamiji's voice? Hari Om?
Yes.
Yes, Swamiji. You continue. Now they are able to.
Martin was a devout cobbler. One day when he was reading the Bible, he heard a voice, "Martin, Martin." He looked around and couldn't see anyone. Therefore, he continued reading. The voice again called, "Martin, Martin." Swamiji's voice comes again to us. He asked, "Who is it?" The voice answered, "It is me, God. I shall visit you tomorrow." Martin was excited. The next morning he prepared some tea for the Lord and awaited his arrival. However, no one special came that way. He saw the sweeper shivering in the street and invited him to have some tea, then continued to wait for the Lord. After a while, he saw a lady fruit vendor and the boy who carried her fruits to the market arguing as they walked. He invited them to have some tea. He urged the boy to hasten his pace so that they would reach the market on time. He told the lady to be calm with the boy, and he was just a boy. He offered them some tea. They too left after having tea. Then he continued his wait for God. On and off, looking out of the window, he happened to see a lady with a newborn baby shivering in the cold. He invited her in. He gave her some tea and something to eat. When she was leaving, he offered her his coat for warmth. Thereafter, he continued to wait. Soon it started getting dark outside. He thought to himself that he may have hallucinated about God speaking to him. He picked up his Bible and continued reading. Soon he heard the voice called, "Martin." He immediately said, "God, I waited for you, you did not come." God replied, "I came to you. I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was naked and you clothed me." God wants us to see him in all forms, serve him in all. Now, when we go through this anecdote, similar things would have happened in our life also, Probably not in the same way. So, whatever God wanted us to inform us, wanted us to know, He has brought it out in the form of examples. So, if we try to go through that example, the greatest advantage is it is mine. I have observed or I have experienced. It is not something coming from outside. Anything that comes from outside will not stay with me. It may stay with me only for some time, and then we forget. But this one gets stamped in our heart. So today's take-home message, we can call it, God wants us to go back to our own life and find out how to do that. The technique also He has to give. But in our own way, whatever technique that He prompts us, we will employ that technique. But this should be there. Right from the age you started remembering you, till this moment, there are many incidents that stand out in your memory. If they are standing out, God willed that it stands out in your memory, and there is a purpose behind it. So see, that will slowly enable us to set in motion that He is guiding me from within. Again, I may forget because I have not made it a practice. But slowly, behind
Swamiji,
everything.
This is the way the entire narration of God's grace by Mataji is there. Right from the birth, you made me take a birth
Correct.
on the Amavasya day.
That is the way in which Mataji has explained, it completely brings in. Yes, it's a good point. So we now try whatever experience God has given us. At that time we would have closed the file, naming it as positive or negative or something, indifference or something. Why should I be subjected to go through all those things? We should have asked. Our cravings, our infatuations, our desires, our ambitions, so many things. But though He gave us all these things, in between He taught us wise tuitions. And that wise, we did not know that it was a wise tuition. Just now we told you, what we had in 58, 59. Because it is original. It is not coming from outside. Though the poem is written by a poet, okay. But the content of the poem, when He made us, in order that we take it, He also facilitated to have to have that particular program where the Pundit asks us to handle it and then effectively, successfully do it. Even at that time we did not know, but when we got in touch with spiritual preceptors, and when He said everything happens only by His will, and then we try to stitch one by one, and now when you ask about Leela, that means He is behind and He is making us to act. Immediately He says, connect up the experience I gave you in 58, 59. So throughout our professional career, throughout our whenever we went out with various masters or with various ashrams, or even after coming here now for the past 30 years, there are many instances. We were treating it as an instance, but now we will not treat it as an instance. That that beautiful quotation, the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. Who else can give us a better definition? The world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. I have never treated my world life as a school, because it was crowded with so many of my ambitions, desires, cravings, targets, and I never knew. And whatever I had, and I put as just a label: negative, positive, good, bad, favorable, not favorable. But now, when you meet a spiritual preceptor, and the spiritual preceptor says these words through his words of wisdom, then we try to stitch one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. Is it becoming clear?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji.
So let us all try now. We don't have to go outside to learn.
Swamiji, so if we keep on extending, say this 1 hour, some 3 to 4, then say 5 to 6, if I keep on extending the period of alertness,
Yeah, sure.
will that be a good homework?
Definite. To begin with, yes. I was telling you, when we were working with the Jain, he would set apart 1 hour for Maun. And at that time, he will not talk to anybody. Whatever may be suppose a telephone call comes, some urgent or this thing. He has set apart that particular time and he will go through the scriptures, everything, That touches him, that connects him intensely with the reality. And then later on, he will forget about, we may think that he has forgotten about it. But no. That 1 hour intense, We had many instances where he had to attend the telephone, landline only. And the puja room is very near the telephone room. But then, no, he will not be disturbed. We used to tell them he will be back only after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So then we were wondering what he was doing. When we asked him, he said, if we don't set apart that time, Swami, finish. We will not have any connection at all with us. So when we go through the scriptures, total concentration should be there. They have the puja, a different system of puja, and then afterwards they will go through the Puranas. And you can see that like an old person, he will do line by line, line by line, line by line. That means it is not reading. It is reading, hearing, assimilating, absorbing. Today he makes me to remember, all those things. So what is manana? What is mean? This is what is. Did I not show you through Jain? Like that we try to connect up.
Swamiji, you
yes,
told about mobile multiplicity 2 days before.
Yeah.
So that kept me thinking, so if I'm seeing multiple forms, multiple experiences, and if I see so many varied things, how can I see stillness, which is the thread common to all these things?
Suppose you withdraw, suppose you sit and you shut your door and you are sitting for half an hour chanting Ram Nam and trying to bring all these things, what will happen? Whatever God wants to show you through experience, that will not be available. That is why when Mataji took to intense inward journey in Kasaragod ashram, according to what we remember, 3 to 4 hours she was in that state, stilling the mind. When she came out, Papa said, no, don't. She did not want to come out of that state. She always wanted to revel in that state. So then Papa said, no, that is not full. He is not only inside as the silence absolute, stillness absolute, Nischala Tattvam absolute, static. He is also dynamic. You have been given a sense of individuality, so there is a dynamic aspect also, including you. So you
Yes,
should.
Swamiji, then she wrote that
So
you
you
are
should.
stillness,
So
you are chanchala, you are still.
correct. So
The opposite.
so we should also try to see him in the dynamic aspect, not merely in the static aspect. So that will give you some idea. Suppose I am sitting in the room. Why did he go out? As chronicled in Quest of God. When the ticket examiner asked him, when God is everywhere, what is the need for you to go? You remember?
Yes, yes.
Huh?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Ah,
Swamiji.
They say God is everywhere, then where is the fun of your knocking about in search of Him while He is at the very place from which you started on this quest, as you say? Then Papa answers, right, brother, God is everywhere, but He wants to have this fact actually proved by going to all places and realizing His presence everywhere. Otherwise, it will not be a comprehensive realization. Na? It will be compartmentalized. So, in order to have the comprehensive realization, that is why.
Swamiji, for us, everything is now paper-based, book-based, or any kind of
Paper-based, book-based, our
listening
knowledge
or-
now.
How to put it into a practical,
If an answer comes from outside, it is an outside answer. You ask within, and the answer will come from within. We are still not trying to get in touch with Him now. He is seated within, ever ready to answer our question, but we are not seeking. Again, we are seeking outside. So He will keep mum, as He has been keeping mum all these years. So this particular word, God is everywhere, but He wants to have this fact actually proved by going to all places and realizing His presence everywhere. So
when we ask within, we have an answer.
When we ask, will we have answer from him?
No.
100% we will have answer, not in the way in which we expect the answer. It may come out in the form of an inner prompting. It may come out in the form of somebody sharing something. It may be in the form of you are witnessing something. It may be in the form of you are involving in something. The answer need not come in the way in which normally we say question answer. It can come in that form also. How he says, we cannot. When we come here, we don't know what we are going to share. Every time we used to ask Chandrananji, today what is the topic? She will immediately smile and say, Papa will give. We have no idea. So when we come here, whatever he prompts through you and whatever he prompts from within, that is being shared. Because every time we don't want to prepare something and go, that means, the sense of individuality is preparing.
So that means we don't have to be always preparing in advance for everything.
We don't have to prepare ourselves in advance for everything.
Initially, we may have to. Initially, we have to, until we know that he will guide us. It is not an empty promise. Unless we start knowing that he is guiding us, present continuous, he is guiding us. Then you don't need. Then we go. Today, what is to be shared? No idea. At that particular time, he will bring some subject. He will make us to observe something. And he will make us to recall certain experience. Share it, bas. Just like that Martin came now, what had happened in January. Huh?
Yes, Swamiji, yes.
January, December, sorry.
December.
December.
Yes. Yes.
27th December. Swamiji.
27th December. And Swamiji made it as a casual, not serious, with his usual smile and that simple approach. Martin. It came just like that. So that is why, it gets stamped on your heart. A great, profound theme he is bringing out in the form of a small anecdote. What is the sound?
In their place.
Swamiji,
Ah.
I want to share one experience. It is 2 days back. It's it is a miracle. I don't know. On 18th, it's a Gokulashtami day. I returned from.
Gokulashtami day.
Yes.
Ah.
And our flower boy came.
Eh?
As soon as he was giving me flowers, some sound came in my bathroom.
Yeah.
And he said some.
Who came? Jayanti Ben, who came?
एक मिनट सी बुढ़ा हो गया ना सुनता नहीं.
Jayanti Ben, who came to you?
Can't hear Swamiji.
Huh?
You can't hear?
No, we are able to hear. Who came to your house?
One flower boy.
Flower boy.
Flower boy, correct. Then.
Okay.
He came as a papa's rope.
Okay.
Papa's roop.
I will tell the incident.
Ah.
And when I went in the bathroom,
Ah.
I saw my mirror
Ah.
fallen down and broken. I thought how that boy came. He told me, Auntie, you don't worry. I will do my everything. It's a so coincident, Swamiji. He came outside my door and the mirror is broken. I said, Papa has come see to help me in which way?
Exactly.
My Papa is everywhere.
He caused that mirror to be broken, but at the same time, to ensure that you understand that Papa is guiding you, he brought that boy also there.
Yes, and he cleared everything, Swamiji. Normally, who will go in the bathroom and the broom and everything? He took the broom, he cleared the mirror pieces.
He cleaned everything.
Good.
That day I had a pedas for Nividya. He gave that packet to him.
It was on Gokulashtami day.
Gokulashtami.
Yes, Swamiji.
Wow, wonderful. Blessed.
I was so, I said I should stand with Swamiji.
Very good.
But Papa came in.
Papa came in that form. That is how we truly tutor our mind. We are not treating it as an incident.
I told that boy, my Papa has come in you.
No. Good.
I told him you has come as a Papa.
Very good. See, now so many people were able to hear also.
Yes, Swamiji.
Because from examples, it is easy to understand, not theories.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Always if any problem I have, no, Papa comes immediately he comes to help me.
Very good. Then.
Swamiji, Papa prompted us to listen from her.
Like that you try. Yeah, what all he is facilitating, This will all help us. In that sloga, Lord has assured us, whatever we have done, nothing will go in vain. What is that sloga? Forgot. No. That is there, but previous. Anyway, it's all right. Let us not go beyond that. So it is becoming clearer and clearer. We started with knowing something about Leela.
1% yogi, 2% yogi.
Yes, Swamiji.
So the Leela is there. Straight away we cannot understand, but Leela now we can understand, like Jayanti Ben had shared with us, like Swamiji shared about that Martin. Then we can understand, that is his Leela. We are trying to connect everything to him. Previously we were connecting between individual to individual. That person helped me. I should be grateful to him. That was the understanding. That is our UKG, LKG stage. Then later on we upgrade ourselves. It is not the person to person. It is God who is arranging everything. He makes us to go pass through stressful moments. Then He gives us some solace in the form of relief, in the form of peace of mind, in the form of equanimity. So many things, like that we try to go through our own life in retrospect and try to see the teachings He has given to us. I think that effort, suppose we make, that would be more effective than text-oriented journey. Because here there is concrete, now Jayanti even knows, yes, it is possible. Because it is a direct experience she had. So similarly, let us all try to dig out whatever experience He makes us to go through, not merely as a person to person.
Swamiji,
Ah.
there is a real Martin in everybody's life.
There's
That's a
real
real-
Martin in everybody's life.
Ah. The cobbler, the Martin. He is there. The only thing is, like Martin, we have to keep on asking God. Why don't you announce that I am God coming in the form of that lady, in the form of that? Then He will answer. Then you will lose the charm. Then your intellect will ask half a dozen questions. And by the time you answer, the person would have gone back. So here, Papa's words come back to us often. Intellect has no job here. It is purely the mind, emotions, feelings, feeling.
Like God Krishna told, I am always waiting near the door. I am just waiting to be called.
Yeah, correct.
So we have to just think of Him and call Him so that He comes and rescues us.
Hari Om, okay. Now it is becoming a little more lively than one-way traffic. Very good. So tomorrow, don't prepare. At that time,
I had to ask you questions.
Then it becomes lively, Suppose we prepare it, and then become lively. What's 11? Okay. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.